you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We made it! We made it! We made it! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's hunt now! Let's hunt now! Let's go! Let's hunt! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house!
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, how like we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up your chin strap.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from them.
He's a man. They can be hit just like us. He's a man.
You already make the big money.
He's a man.
Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's war out there.
When I step on the field, I send one message. And this is what it feels like.
Oh, my bad. Your bad don't work in my world.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! We made it! And let's go to the house! And let's go to the house! It's a wrap. Game over.
Nah, it's not over. It's just getting started right here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. And I'm telling you, if you're not down with BS3 yet, get down with us by downloading BS3 TV on your Roku streaming device and checking out all the great content. Content is king. BS3's got it on a top level. And if you don't have a Roku streaming device, you're not left out. You go to bs3network.com, bs3network.com, and you are in, my friend. All right, listen, it's Talk Your Team Tuesday. I'm glad to be back. Couldn't wait till I could get to this today. And man, let me tell you, it is set. It is set. The Final Four is set. And much to my chagrin, the Houston Cougars are not in it, but they ran up against a very good and motivated Miami team that, man, oh man, not only did Miami get the University of Houston, but they got the University of Texas up out of there. So, yeah, man, the Final Four set. Three teams making their first Final Four appearance in school history. That hadn't been done since 1970, I believe. And, of course, UConn been there, done that, and even brought home the hardware. So congratulations to those four teams making it to the men's Final Four right here in Houston. So, and real quick before I get too far away from it, congratulations to Coach Terry with the University of Texas. They gave him a 5-year contract, and he is the man. And I wish they would have done it sooner. They obviously had their process. They got it done immediately following the Elite Eight. So congratulations, Coach Terry. You earned it. And hope you have even better success next season because you know they're going to be watching you. Yeah, just ask Shaka Smart. Just ask Charlie Strong. Yeah, they're going to be watching you, bro. Going to be watching you. So anyway, I say congratulations to him. And then the women's field is set as well. The women's field is set as well. LSU advanced, Iowa advanced, and then last night it was South Carolina and Virginia Tech getting their tickets to go to the Final Four. So, man, I have got a busy weekend ahead of me. I'll be in Dallas Friday for the women's Final Four. I'll be back in Houston Saturday for the men's Final Four. I'll be back in Dallas Sunday for the women's championship game. And then I'll be back in Houston Monday night for the men's championship game. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying if you hit me and I don't hit you back, you know why. You know why? Because I'm moving and grooving. In fact, you know, I'm not even even sure if I'm going to waste time in a hotel room and all that, man. I might just hit it, come on back, get some rest, jump up, get back at it. So for your boy, okay? Do that for me. All right. All right. So there are a couple of things that I want to talk about and I want to observe. I want to observe from the Final Four. And let me get to the oldest thing first. It was back on the men's side. And let me see if I can get my dates and my times right. Yeah, on the 23rd, 5 days ago, Kansas State beat Michigan State 98-93. And again, not saying that he meant it a certain way, but he did say the words that Kansas State got lucky during some plays, and that's when Kansas State beat Michigan State 98-93 in overtime. The person I'm talking about, of course, is the head coach of Michigan State. A lot of folks came after him on social media, and rightly so. He's not immune to criticism. When it comes to that. But what I wanted to say was when Kansas State lost to Florida Atlantic, when they lost to them 3 days ago, head coach Jerome Tang from Kansas State didn't have the same kind of comments. In fact, he addressed Florida Atlantic saying that they were one of the better teams that he's ever seen, and that their ability, watch this, and their unity, if they stayed together and played together, they got a chance to win it all. That's how you do a post-game press conference when referencing another team. Now, if there's something egregious, if there's something that just went awry and it didn't get called, or maybe, one of the coaches, had some, nonsense to say. I'm not talking about punching people in the handshake line, but I'm just saying if there's something out of the ordinary, then by all means, go off. But when you're talking about another opponent and how they played and, it wasn't them beating us, we beat ourselves. That kind of stuff is just sour grapes, man. That kind of stuff is weak. That kind of stuff is not what it is, Tom Izzo. It's not that. It's congratulations. And by the way, as a coach and an observer on the other side of the court, if you guys play together, stay together, and do what you all do so well, you got a chance to win this thing completely. I love Coach Jerome Tang for that. I love that. That is how it should be done. Kim Mulkey, that is how it should be done. So Coach Jerome Tang, Kansas State, man, congratulations, brother. Congratulations. Sorry that they lost, but again, great to see them, that kind of sportsmanship, that kind of maturity, that's good stuff. That's what it should be about. So I had to get that out of the way. I'm done. I ain't gonna say nothing else. I'm not gonna say anything else, but oh man, these Final Four games coming out of the Elite Eight, San Diego State took care of a very good Creighton team by a point, and a lot of controversy at the end of the game because on the last play of the game before the free throw, player drove the lane, defender got behind him, and as he was behind him and the player was elevating to shoot, the defender got his left hand on him and tried to block from behind with the right hand, but that left hand was on the hip of the shooter, and it turned him. It knocked him off his mark. Even slightly, it knocked him off his mark. There is a quote-unquote unwritten rule in basketball that the referees are supposed to swallow their whistles if it's not an egregious foul at the end of the game, because it's the end of the game, and you don't want that call to decide the outcome of the game. Horse pookie. I made that up. Horse pookie. No, if it's a foul, it's a foul. And I appreciate it. I don't listen. I'm not rooting for San Diego State or Creighton, but if it's a foul, it's a foul. And that referee did his or her job. That referee did their job, and it was the right call because, again, it knocked him off the mark. I've been told by referees that if a defender impedes the ability of the scorer to score in a in a contact way, that's the word, with contact, then it is a foul. That was a foul. And Charles Barkley after the game, oh yeah, I hate that call was made. It decided the game. It was a foul. It was a foul. Better yet, teach the defenders how to defend without fouling. Got his hand on him, turned him, knocked him off his spot a little bit. Boom, foul. Young man got to the line, and guess what? He missed the first one. But he knocked down that second one to give San Diego State a 1-point lead. Creighton couldn't get the bucket after that, and bang, game. I was a little concerned about the final play of the game, where the big lefty threw it all the way down the court, and Creighton had one player that they were hoping was going to be able to elevate above everyone else. The defender got up there too. The ball got tipped by somebody out of bounds. The clock looked like it expired, but it looked like that ball hit out of bounds with 2/10 of a second left. And after further review, apparently they went to their stopwatch because the clock keeper did not start the clock on time after the long pass and decided there was no time left on the clock. Ball game. San Diego State wins 57-56 to advance to the Final Four for the first time in school history. Y'all do know that Kawhi Leonard, the Claw, is an alum of San Diego State, right? So San Diego State been good for a minute, but now they are in the Final Four. They won 31 games this year. You don't win over 30 games and you trash. So congratulations to them. Sorry, Creighton, tough loss and what have you. But again, I believe, just me, my opinion, not our opinion, my opinion, that it was a good call. I applaud the referee for making the call at the time. Why penalize the offensive players because it's late in the game? If they get fouled, guess what? They should be called, and they should have the opportunity to knock them down at the free throw line. So, man, love that. That's what March Madness is all about. And then in the late game, you had UT taking on Miami. They're starting to call them NILU. You can call them what they want, but they go into the Final Four. So for the first time, they knocked off Texas 88-81. Oh man, how heartbroken should Texas be, given that they led for over 26 minutes? I think right at 27 minutes. Miami only led for less than 10 minutes. They overcame a 13-point deficit late in the game to win by 7. Man, you got to give credit to Miami because they woke up and they made plays when they needed to make plays and outscored Texas in the second half 51-36. They kept coming. So that's why they're coming to Houston for the Final Four. Again, congratulations to them. Congratulations to them. All right, so the day before that, again, Florida Atlantic, man, just balled out. Went in the half with a 4-point lead, only gave up a point difference in the second half, and again, got the win, 79-76. Two great teams going at each other. But again, Florida Atlantic, 35 wins. 35 wins. I don't care if it came from Conference USA. In basketball, the ball is still round. The basket still has a net on it. It's still 10 feet off the court. So, baby, again, this is why I love March Madness, because the little guys can beat the big guys. Duke's not in it. North Carolina's not in it. Kansas is not in it. Kentucky's not in it. Who are your other blue blood programs? They're not in it because you got Florida Atlantic going after beating Kansas State, and then UConn balled out, beating Gonzaga, and not only did they beat Gonzaga, they dog walked Gonzaga. Final score 82-54. I say it again, man. I am not rocking with Gonzaga in the tournament no more. anymore, evermore. You name it, I'm not doing it. Gonzaga, what they say, one thing you can count on with Gonzaga is they gonna zig when they should have zagged. All right. So anyway, UConn going back to the Final Four with an 82-54 win. So we'll look at who's going to play who, what's going to be what when we come back from this break on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV.
There's a 100% chance of a laugh thunderstorm. Four men with different viewpoints take a movie, show, or documentary and review it uncensored, unfiltered, uncompromised, with no holds barred. Join BS3, Wilkes, King Doc, and H-Rap-B as they take on Hollywood their own way. BS3 Network proudly presents The Forecast, where H-Rap-B always predicts,
if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
live every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. Discouragement, sorrow, distance. Your arguments cause damage to your family. The hurt leads to divorce. You feel like there is nowhere else to turn. But there is hope for you. That's where we come into play. There is an overcomer that lives inside of you. One ready to take on the world as you leap for joy, living in victory. You'll grow to love yourself and others. There's life after divorce, and you can claim it today. Get Over Divorce, where your new story begins here every Thursday on YouTube and Spreaker.
That's just two of the great shows that you'll find on the BS3 network. Two of the great shows that you'll find on BS3 TV. So with your Roku streaming device, all you got to do is download the stream from the streaming channels. There's a icon, app, whatever folder for the streaming channels. Download BS3 TV. You got us. If you don't have a Roku streaming device, get one or get a Roku streaming TV. But until you do, go to bs3network.com. That's bs3network.com. You're going to love something on that network. I promise you. All right. All right. So we're back with it. We're back with it. So the Final Four on the men's side is set. This coming Saturday, right here in Houston. I'll be there. Early game, just after 5 o'clock Central, will be Florida Atlantic taking on San Diego State. Somebody is going to go to the NCAA championship game for the first time out of that game. Florida Atlantic's never been there. San Diego State's never been there. You know, the Claw's probably going to be in town. It's going to be great. Again, it's going to be a good game. You got a 9 versus a 5 in the Final Four matching up. One of them, either a 9 or a 5, is going to be in the championship game. They've got San Diego State with an early slight favorite in that game, 2-point favorite in that game. I don't know, man. Look, my bracket was busted like week one. In the late game, you got Miami and UConn. That'll be somewhere around 7:50, 8 o'clock. Again, Miami and UConn. We'll see. They've got UConn as a almost 6-point favorite in that game. I don't underestimate Miami. Miami is legit. They got that big. I don't call them a big. They got that big, who is just a rebounding machine, and they got guys who can knock it down, plus make plays off the – I used to say make plays off the dribble, but now they say make plays off the bounce. So, you know, they got guys who can ball. UConn ain't no joke. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Again, that will be the Final Four this Saturday. And then on Monday, the winners of those two games will meet for the NCAA Men's Championship. All right, let's jump over to the women's side. Let's do it. All right. Last night, South Carolina flexed their muscles again over a very good Maryland team. But, man, South Carolina they were hot from the field. They were hot in the paint. They're just a very deep and good team. Miss Boston, that's what I call it. Miss Boston, another double-double. And they knocked off the number 2 seed Maryland 86-75 to advance to the Final Four again. And then the team that knocked off UConn, the Ohio State University women Buckeyes, couldn't handle last night Virginia Tech. I didn't know Virginia Tech was that deep, that long, and that strong. And it's good to see the brother leading them to the Final Four, 84-74 over the Ohio State University last night. So that's what happened there. That's what happened there. And then on the night before that, LSU, too much for Miami. Again, the Lady Hurricanes, the Hurricane ladies team, lost 54-42 to LSU. And again, LSU, they might have played a rinky-dink schedule during the regular season, but they are running through some teams in this tournament. And I hate that they don't get either South Carolina or Iowa in the Final Four. They won't meet either one of those teams unless they make it to the championship game. So Kim Mulkey might have lucked out. She might have lucked out. Iowa beat Louisville 97-83. That Louisville team, man, keep an eye on them. They're going to be back. They're going to be strong. But, man, I tell you what, Iowa, they just got players, man. Iowa has players. So it's going to be a good matchup. So here's what we have. In the Final Four there. It is going to be South Carolina and Iowa, and then it'll be LSU, and Virginia Tech. Whew, I need a break. Let me take one. I'll be right back right after this on the lunch break, powered by JM&E.
That's why we here on this platform.
Marriage, a loving splendor, a daily grind. Such is the case when Damien and Jamie get together and chop it up, for marriage is real.
Let's just lay it all out here. Let's just be real with it.
Join this wonderful couple who keeps it real and always in love. BS3 Network proudly presents Marriage is Real, where love is the only thing that matters. Live every Tuesday at 8:30 Central. Oh, and Jamie has something to say.
Deuces and trays.
Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street, y'all done had problems. Maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
All right, y'all, we're back here on the lunch break, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Roku TV, courtesy of BS3 TV. Get that Roku streaming device and download BS3 TV from the streaming channels folder. You got us. If you don't have it, then get one, or go to bs3network.com. That's bs3network.com. All right, y'all. So listen, got to get ready to go. But before I do, quarterbacks, NFL. Apparently, the quarterback from Green Bay may finally be getting traded to the New York Jets. Interesting thing came out of the news cycle yesterday. The general manager for Green Bay said that he'd been trying to reach out to the quarterback and connect with him since he came out of the hole. You know, the darkness. Keep on. But anyway, he hadn't been able to talk to the quarterback. Said it was his agent that informed the team that he wanted to be traded to the Jets. That's not drama, is it? That's the way you do it, right? You don't talk to your team, your organization that you're still under contract with, by the way, that let me use some of the terminology and phrases that y'all use on some of the other people that just signed a restructured contract, just signed a big extension. Interesting. If I'm the Jets, I'm like, you know what? Never mind. If that's what we got to look forward to, never mind. But anyway, the Jets are excited about the possibility of getting him. Some players have gotten to New York saying that they went there with the intentions of playing with him. All right, cool. We'll see how that works out. But it may be happening sooner than later. And then the bombshell that really wasn't a new bombshell. It apparently was an old bombshell. Lamar Jackson reportedly yesterday demanded a trade or requested a trade from the Baltimore Ravens. The team released the information yesterday. Lamar said he made the request on March the 2nd. It's the 28th. Guess what? That thing has been out there for 26 days. Interesting. It really makes me believe that what Lamar has said about the contract that he turned down might be truer than what was put out there in the media. I don't know how this one got off track. I don't know how this one went awry. I know that Harbaugh has said that he still has hope that they will re-sign or sign Lamar to a long-term contract. I don't know, man. Whoever's handling it for Baltimore seems to be fumbling it. If they really want Lamar, they sure are going the wrong way to get it done. So Lamar Jackson's trade request has now been made public. Whether it happened on the 2nd, whether it happened yesterday, it has now been made public. And there are teams out there that are like, yeah, bet, got it. Indianapolis is one. And given their history, they might do whatever they need to do to get him. Given their history of, the quarterback they got from the Chargers, Phillip Rivers. Then they came behind that with Carson Wentz, free agent quarterback. Then they came behind that with Matt Ryan, free agent quarterback. And now they could come behind that with Lamar Jackson. And I'm telling you right now, and I'm just going to say it. Y'all ain't got to agree with me. Lamar Jackson goes to Colts. Colts win the AFC South. I didn't say Super Bowl. I didn't say AFC Championship. I said they win the AFC South. It ain't gonna be Jacksonville. It ain't gonna be Tennessee. It's definitely not gonna be the Texans this year. Not yet. So we'll see. The New England Patriots would be wise to say, hey, Mac Jones, hey, bro, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get that out of here. Bring him in and let that man work under Bill Belichick and the new offensive coordinator, you know who. So that would be very interesting. Carolina, again, you up there with that number 1 pick. I promise you, nobody coming out of that draft has proven what Lamar Jackson has. And I don't want to hear, I'm not talking to you people like, oh, he's hurt and he hadn't won it. Y'all, okay. All right. Duly noted. The man's ability, the man's talent, the man's upside is better and is more proven in the NFL than any one of those guys coming out of college. They've never played in the NFL, so you can't argue that. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to exactly what I'm saying. Proven in the NFL. They haven't done it. He has. You put that team, build that team around him, and man, you got something. You've got something. So those are the 3 that I think. And if I'm Atlanta, I'm taking a look at it real strong. If I'm Tampa Bay, you go from Tom Brady to Lamar Jackson, bruh, I'm telling you, you possibly have yourself something right there. So we'll see how that all plays out. We'll see how all that plays out. Got a published report yesterday that the Texans quietly, secretly met with Will Levis up in Kentucky. For what? Just to let him know you're not going to draft him, because if the Texans draft Will Levis over, whoever Carolina doesn't pick, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Herndon. I got it right. Herndon. What? I mean, go find Tom Savage. Go bring Davis Mills back. I mean, that's all you're doing is getting a younger version of them. So anyway, we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. All right, before I go, the Lunch Break Weekly Keeping Up with the Joneses Bracket Challenge is already settled. We already know who the winner is going to be. Now, for the winner, we're going to ask you to hold tight until the tournament is over, because that's when we normally decide who's going to win it. But man, these brackets were so crazy this year that it is already done. Jameis Jeter won it all with 66 points. That's unheard of. Last year, somebody had like 130 points to win it all. Clarence came in second with 64. Courtney Harden came in third with 60, tied with Big Mike. Fifth was CJ, tied with Willie. Seventh, Alexis Renee. Eighth, Sheridan, tied with Snowman. And 10 was Stephanie Love. Sorry, y'all. It's done. So Jameis Jeter will be reaching out to you, man, to let you know when we're going to forward you your $500 cash. Want to get some audio from you like we got from Miss Betty, and we'll take it from there. So again, as always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I truly do love you. There is nothing you can do about it except meet us here tomorrow for Winning Wednesday. All right, let's go. Talk to y'all then.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. It's Friday, March 24th, 2023. That's the best thing to know. It's Friday. Number 1, TikTok CEO Cho Zee-Chu appeared before the House Energy and Commerce Committee to talk.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.
Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today is Tuesday, March 28th, 2023. Number 1, another day, another school shooting took place Monday morning at a Christian school in Nashville, Tennessee. 7 people, including 3 children and 3 adults, were among those killed at the Covenant School serving pre-K through 6th grade students. The shooter, identified as a transgender Audrey Long, was killed by police in this, the 13th school shooting this year that resulted in injury or death. Number 2, on March 9th, President Joe Biden released a budget to cut taxes for working people and families with children by almost $800 billion over the next 10 years without raising taxes on anyone with an income below $400,000 per year. Congressional Republicans have instead offered a set of top-down tax proposals. Their agenda would add over $3 trillion to the debt with tax cuts and other giveaways skewed toward the wealthy and large corporations. They also have advanced proposals demanding massive cuts to programs from public safety to healthcare to education, while reportedly declining to put forward a budget. Number 3, a new abortion provider is opening this year in Democratic-controlled Maryland, just across from deeply conservative West Virginia, where state lawmakers recently passed a near-total abortion ban. The Women's Health Center of Maryland in Cumberland, roughly 5 miles from West Virginia, will open its doors in June to provide abortions to patients across Central Appalachia. Regional clinic operators say It is an abortion desert. Independent abortion clinics are more likely to offer abortion after the first trimester and to provide both surgical and medication abortion options. That according to the Abortion Care Network. Number 4, Angel Pittman, a 21-year-old North Carolina hairstylist who is also black, set aside $14,000 for 3 school buses to be used as a mobile hair salon. In September 2022, she also purchased a plot of land in Salisbury, North Carolina for $10,000 to have a base. Then she also got a weird feeling about an elderly white male neighbor. Pittman noticed her buses were vandalized with smashed windows and racial slurs written on the vehicles, and after calling the police, no action was taken. Read more about her story in the What You Need to Know newsletter. Number 5. If you work from home in 2022, you may be wondering if you qualify for home office deductions, which offers a tax break for part of your home expenses. Remote work was an option for 10.5% of workers in 2022, with higher percentages among tech, legal, and other occupations. So, can you claim the home office deduction? Check out what the answers are with our celebrity CPA Katrina M. Kraft in today's What You Need to Know newsletter. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Change begins in your mindset and your actions will follow. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with comedian extraordinaire Damon Williams and producer extraordinaire Ahmed Gordon as we discuss today's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need.
The world record, and I lost concentration and I fall off that hurdle. I was devastated.
Posición game ball de Canadá, dominando la prueba, y la estadounidense Sharifa Blackdale está en.
When I fell over that hurdle, it ended my career. And then all of a sudden, my coach grabs me by the throat. And I was going through some paperwork and seeing that he had spent 10 years in prison. And I was just like floored. It turned to domestic violence. I was terrified. So if I left, I don't know if I was going to die. My family didn't know if they was going to get a phone call to say that Sharifa was dead.
8910 radio, I said a vehicle took a shot at me. Southbound on East 95th.
Broke the U.S. record in the 400-meter hurdles. Represented the United States of America.
Imagine being on the biggest, fastest roller coaster that you have ever been on. That's the way my life was for 20 years.
I never had no trouble out of her being what she wanted to be. Because if this is what she wanted to be a runner, well, God bless her, and he did.